Why, hello there. Come, set yourself down, and get yourself out of the bad weather, and join us for another rainy day reading.
You said come.
I'm here with Johnathan Carl. Also here is Megan R. How are you doing, ma'am?
Good.
And Tama, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent. So, Johnathan, just explain to us what the hell we read and why you made us read porn.
Okay, first off, you think that's porn, you have not seen porn.
No, I know porn, and yes, this was softer compared to most porn, but it was still goddamn porn.
It was
If
not
I've got ads,
hentai, for God's sake.
It's ecchi. It's low-level ecchi. Come on.
if I've got an ad screaming at me to
Okay,
play
it's
the
not
porn game
low-level
Pussy
ecchi.
Saga, chances are it's porn.
Oh, come on, this is ecchi. It's not straight up hentai. If it was hentai, the entirety of it would just be straight up fucking in great detail.
It's got a point.
Yeah, that is true.
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about here.
This man is a connoisseur of multiple things.
I need help.
Nah, you don't need help. You just need to keep everything organized and know that this probably wasn't appropriate for this, but we're gonna roll with it anyway, because we all read it.
No, we do have another clean thing to balance
Yes,
it out.
we do.
But basically what happened was Walt wasn't going to host this episode originally, as you may hear in the next Heavy Storms, which should be coming out which should be out by now. I don't know anymore. But anyways, he's here anyways now, but I still got to pick what we were going to read for this episode, since I was going to do hosting duties, so we're sticking with two different alternate continuity webcomics based on Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. The first one is called Double K by Captain Osaka, who sadly has stopped making this comic, which sucks because Double K is the most amazing fucking thing, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, it
And
was
the
awesome.
the other series is a Kill la Kill comic that takes place in the 1930s in America, where the two main characters are basically bank robbers, and it's given the very creative name of Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde by Roman Imperial.
I looked at that name when I sat down to read this, and I just put both my head in both my hands, because it was like, oh, god damn it, Johnathan. Shit posting before the episode even began.
Yeah, I checked her Tumblr, and she just seems like a fanfic writer, and that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like she's not like one of the people I would spotlight in an article on my hidden blogger site or anything like that. But anyways, yeah, we'll be getting into those two later, but we have to talk about what we've been reading now, right?
Yes, we, of course, will always talk about what we've been reading. So, Megan, we're going to start with you. Megan, what have you been reading lately?
Well, I've been pretty busy as of late, with wedding plans and all, but I've been trying to find some time for reviews of my other site. And because it was 4 Coma month, I've been rereading a lot of 4 Coma stuff. And naturally, I kind of had to go with the best one, certainly for the longest time, was the only good 4 Coma manga in America. Which is to say, I was reading Azumanga Daioh.
Of course.
And just coming back to it, I can appreciate all the little things that Azuma did differently. I can appreciate how his art style is in this interestingly weird little place between kind of the standardized moe blob, which would define a lot of later 4 Comas, and kind of the weird late 90s giant cheekbone style. I really appreciate his sense of humor. He's always had a brilliant sense of timing. He knows when to let a joke hang long enough, just to the point where it starts getting funny again. And
I don't think anyone here is going to disagree that Azumanga Daioh is fantastic.
And that his characters are not just straight off the otaku fetish checklist. Like, they've at least got 1 or 2 quirks thrown at them, and even the ones that come close, like, say, Tomo, who's basically a Genki girl, still has, like, that hyper-competitive edge, so that makes her it deviates her a little. It just, God, it really is just a classic, which is amazing because it's not complex. It's nothing compared to Yotsuba as far as art, but it's still just a classic even, God, 17 years later?
Yeah, it's dated incredibly well compared to sort of, well, let's be honest, most other Full Coma series. I mean, I would say probably the only other really good Full Coma series we've had in the sort of the intervening 17 years is probably Nichijou, although Nichijou just takes... Nichijou almost takes what Azumanga Daioh does and just sort of amps it up to 11.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I just remembered something. Did the Azumanga Daioh person do something creepy lately?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Because I've been hearing, like, buzzings, like, comparing him to his pervert teacher character.
Oh, yeah, there's always been some concerns over Mr. Kimura, but even despite the fact that Kimura is a total pervy weirdo, it's still handled in about the most tastefully way you could do so while still being funny.
I maybe be mixing him up with someone else, but I keep seeing that comparison between him and his character for some reason lately, and I don't remember why.
He has done dojins in the past, but shit, who
Oh,
didn't?
that explains it.
I went
did you
looking,
know- oh,
I went
oh,
looking
did
him
you
up
guys-
to see what Johnathan was talking about. I'm sorry, I'm taking it. And literally the last line of his Wikipedia was, prior to these series, he worked on a hentai manga called Ima no Rambu.
As you do.
There you go.
Oh, I just remembered that the reason Black Lagoon kept getting delayed for so long is because the creator kept fucking off to go draw Fandom Dojins.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I know.
Hiro is still
Yes.
very
Wow.
active
They're
in the
good
dojin scene.
Dojins. They're very good.
Dark, is that the one I'm thinking? I think the same guy, Tex-Mex.
Yes.
Yes. Manga artist.
Yep.
Most of them are giant pervs. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been reading.
Alright, thank you very much, Megan. I haven't read Azumanga Daioh since I was in high school, but I remember enjoying it thoroughly. So thank you for reminding me that exists. Johnathan, let's just go straight to you. What have you been reading lately?
Oh dear.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just
Oh,
I'm looking at
scared.
I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to talk. God, I've
scared.
been really. Stop saying that. I've been really busy either with schoolwork or playing that fucking Sailor Moon 3 match puzzle game on my phone. It is my new hell. But I have had well, most of the stuff I've been looking at I can't talk about here. But I did decide to bring up 3 different stories by a favorite artist of mine named Momoyama Jiro. He is a hentai artist, but I'm not going to talk about his porn, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So well, I kind of am, but I'm just talking about certain aspects in these 3 stories I find really interesting and kind of describe why I like this guy's work so much. Because honestly, I think he could do something non-pornographic and it would be really great. And he kind of actually did. I was considering talking about a comedy series he did about a pachinko owner who keeps coming up with ridiculous schemes to scam a horny old man out of their money. But I decided to go with 3 more serious and kind of interesting works. There's one called Inside a Dream that is basically an erotic thriller where this woman is staying at this old man's house and she's starting to think something's happening at night. And so the last 3 pages suddenly devolve into this weird is it a dream sequence where she keeps waking up in weird places or she sees herself in a strange situation, and it's really bizarre. The second one, Hospital Ward, has a really messed up setup where it ends the similar way it begins, except the main character is seen as a crazy person in incredible pain who needs to be bound down at this hospital so no one's able to hear her cries for help. and the last one inside the box is basically like a bad 90s erotic thriller like Fatal Instinct or something, where this woman keeps getting sex toys from some unknown person, and she realizes that someone might be watching her because they send her a gag after she kind of gets annoyed that she doesn't have one night and realizes that someone has been watching her in her house and starts getting paranoid of who it is. I just like the tension all three of these stories have to them. It's like they can be much more than, this guy can do much more than just porn, and I really want to see that happen one day, just because this is like tension-filled stuff is really interesting and creative. Like, he'll even use, like, there's even a lot of symbolism in his work sometimes, like one that focuses heavily on spiders and spider webs, and I just think that's really interesting. Now I'm done.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Johnathan. That was much better than I was expecting when you started laughing.
It was either this or I was going to talk about the mini Hogwarts things I've been finding.
Thank you for not doing that.
Okay, Tama, your turn.
Oh god, well I've actually been reading surprisingly a lot of stuff at the moment. First off, I have been reading Isayama's Attack on Titan, which is, everybody knows about Attack on Titan. It's sort of entering the sort of final third act. Isayama's frankly going a little bit George R.R. Martin on everything, and frankly, yeah.
He's shoving wieners everywhere? He's shoving limp wieners everywhere?
Everything but that. But no, it's the big problem I have with Attack on Titan is that Isayama, frankly, his art is still passable at best. His plotting is good, but it's almost with Attack on Titan, even sort of as it approaches sort of 70-80 chapters, is sort of still, this is so drawing. The plot is so much better. It would have still, I think, have dealt better with, as sort of has been done with One Punch Man, with a better artist. I think it would be better executed. I've also been reading a Shonen Ai manga called Yoro no Tomodachi, which is essentially it is about two characters who is about essentially a softcore how do I put this nice? A softcore BDSM relationship between two boys. It's sort of very much, it's more than just, it is more as actually, to be honest, the thing we're going to go on to talk, one of the things we're going to go to talk on about in a moment, it's more than just sort of softcore porn. It's very interestingly written. It deals with the relationship between two people, particularly sort of essentially because one of the characters has a codependency upon the other. It's very well written. The art is probably way better than it has any right to be in this series. It's very beautifully drawn. A lot of the characters, whilst the two main characters are sort of your typical Bishonen, they're actually very nicely drawn. There's a lot of pathos. There's actually a lot of, for a work that is essentially softcore yaoi, it's actually really surprisingly well written. It's got a lot of quiet moments as well, which is sort of, there's a lot of pathos in it. And finally, because I bought half the box set on Amazon, I'm reading Sailor Moon, which again, really, you don't really need to say much about that either. Yay, indeed.
This fucking phone game's gonna be the death of me.
Are you still playing it?
I'm not right now, but I just remembered I want to play it again. God damn it.
You're not alone. I've got a phone game that I've got behind me because I silenced my phone, but I really want to play it too.
And this is where this is where I'm really happy I don't have a smartphone, so I don't waste hours on these games.
But hey, you'll never get to play a game where you make pretty anime boys wear dresses.
What?
I found 4 of those.
Now I need a smartphone, you bastard.
I wrote about 2 of them. I'm still trying to get the second article out for the other 2.
So please, Tama, go back to telling us about Sailor Moon.
So yeah, Sailor Moon. Again, it's actually there's not really much that can't be said about it. It is probably the best shoujo manga of the 90s. It's dated very well. I mean, the box that I've got, there's a couple of bits where they've cleaned up the art or something, but it's beautifully presented. It is probably. It's a series that I'm actually I first started to read as a student, and it's sort of now when I have money and sort of a disposable income, I just bought half a box set, but it's the box set, which I should show you at some point, is the most beautifully presented box set, because it's got a lot of Taniguchi's artwork from sort of the series around the box, and it's just the prettiest thing ever.
Yes, I've seen Kodansha's box sets for those books, and yes, they're gorgeous. And they come with stickers!
I know, I got the stickers, I don't know what to do with the stickers, but I got the stickers.
Who cares? Stickers!
I bought the other half of the...
Hey, Walt, who's that one artist who does a lot of Sailor Moon doujins?
You would know better than we would?
Oh, I thought Walt would know this since Ahsoka keeps talking about him too.
Oh, fuck.
Black Dog.
What? Oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Just want to remind you, good stuff.
Thank you, Johnathan. And thank you very much, Tama, for telling us about all the things you've been reading. And I got scared when you said softcore, but that turned out to be better than I thought, so thank you.
Very cute shonen eye with BDSM. What's not to like?
That sounds perfectly cute to me.
I will link you later.
I mean, to be fair, I'm about to talk about almost the same thing, so it's cool. So
Oh, we're all disgusting here today, aren't we?
Yeah, no. So, the series I want to talk about. So, I was at the bookstore last week, and I ended up picking up a few volumes of manga. I ended up picking up the 6th volume of A Silent Voice, aka the volume where all the shit hits the fan. Oh my god, read Silent Voice. It's a great series. I picked up a manga called The God's Lie, because it looked interesting, so I'll probably read that eventually. I don't think it's going to be as, God-hating as the title expects, but I also, on a whim, picked up the 5th volume of Black Butler.
Yes!
I'm calling the police.
What? You guys are going to be disappointed, because I'm actually going to defend this series. This series is, my guilty pleasure. So,
Okay, I'm calling child protective.
I don't even have children yet.
You know what you did.
God damn it.
Anyway.
So, Black Butler is about this boy, Seal Phantom Hive, and he basically works as kind of this long arm of the law. He's kind of off the books. He takes care of all the criminals that are too far in the shadows for the regular police to take care of. And he does so with his butler, Sebastian, a demon that he sold his soul to.
Yes, his soul.
As you do.
Yes.
As
Yeah,
you
of
do.
I
course.
say in quotation marks.
Yeah, really. And this is a very dark, a very depressing series.
Punctuated by a
Oh.
lot of goofy shit.
Yes.
Remember when the demon was talking to the kid and then he ate the cherry?
Yeah.
Symbolism!
Yeah. You also remember when the demon needed to get away from his duties as a butler, and it turns out that he loves cats?
Also symbolism.
Really? What's that
What?
symbolism of?
It's a boys' love thing. Don't ask.
It's a boys' love thing. I'm the expert here.
Okay,
I just
apparently
got
there
it.
are things about this series I don't know. But anyway. It's basically like this grim, dark detective series about just all these different arcs hunting down criminals or organizations. I know for a fact the current arc has basically a boy band trying to entice people to come to their concerts so they can steal blood from them to practice blood transfusions.
Yeah, it's safe to say that Yana Tobasa gave up pretty early on trying to keep things accurate to the Victorian setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah,
chapter,
I'm
if I
smiling,
believe
though. You can't
correctly.
see,
He
but
didn't
I'm
give up on
smiling.
all the subtext.
Oh no, that's where the
Oh,
money
no.
is.
But yeah. Here's the thing, like, you all are obviously not, you guys aren't fans of this. I still enjoy the series. I enjoy the whole, like, you know, obviously, like, demon, food to be eaten later relationship between Cecil and Sebastian. I love the complete snark between the two of them. Like, I never find the series not entertaining. With all just the different arcs. I mean, you've got the circus arc, you've got the zombie cruise ship arc, you've got... They had one crappy high school arc, which is like, the fuck? You do all this other creative shit, then you go to high school? Fuck you. But otherwise, I like, love where this series goes. I love how it mixes the goofy and darker moments and how it doesn't feel weird to have them both there. It's just kind of... And I understand that there are a lot of bad things, too. How...
You don't
Yes,
say.
bad is the...
how it emphasizes a lot of undesirable things. I understand this. I still really enjoy the series. I still read it. I still laugh. I still think it's really creepy.
I have a story about this series.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Oh,
No,
boy.
it's not what you think it is. My cousin is actually a bit of an anime fan, but like stuff like Soul Eater and Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
And a few years ago, he mentioned to me that he really liked this show called Black Butler, and I froze for a moment, and so I started asking him about it, and he does not seem aware at all of all the pedophilic undertones in it. He just,
Oh yeah,
he just,
no,
he
no.
just
Like,
thinks it's a cool
there
action
are
show.
little children locked in cages at points in this series. It's kind of terrible.
Yeah, he's just
I
like,
still
the
like
Butler's
it.
so badass. And I'm like, you know that Butler wants to fuck that kid, don't you? And he's like,
That
what?
now let's be fair here. Let's get this correct. Their relationship is entirely voyeurist.
That's because the demon knows he can't get away with it. So the FBI will get him.
No, it's because the demon wants to eat the kid. I guess a voyeurist would have been better. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to go for.
Why do you want to fondle children?
Alright, fuck you, Johnathan. Fuck you. You give us some crappy fucking webcomics to read. I'm actually talking about a published series, and you're gonna give me shit, really?
Yes, but my comics don't endorse fucking children.
Nothing about it really endorses children. It's all subtext of wanting to consume the kid's soul, which is horrifying and terrible, but kind of the whole point of the series is to be horrifying and terrible.
It's also.
He eats the cherry.
I will agree with you, Lisa. The parts with Ciel and Sebastian, from the very tiny bit of Black Butler I've read, are like easily the best parts of that book. It's just, for me, all the goofy shit around it was just. It was just a no sale for me. I didn't even get far enough to deal with the subtext.
The subtext is in the first fucking chapter in the first fucking episode.
I'm
I
just
have
talking about
some-
the
I'll
manga,
admit,
not
there
the show. I've never touched
There are
the show.
terrible moments in Black Butler. I think there was one, like, chapter cover art where it showed Sebastian holding up Seal on a silver platter, and he's dressed up like a turkey.
Oh my.
It was fucking... yeah, it was terrible. The fifth volume that I just got was the conclusion to the curry cooking battle,
Oh,
where Sebastian made a
God.
curry donut. So, yeah. This series is stupid, all over the place, weird. It's my guilty pleasure. I love it.
Guilty pleasure indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess so.
I'm still gonna call the Child Protective Services.
Just get my 2 cents in. It's basically a BL series dressed up as a mystery series. Yana Tabosco has started off her career doing fairly hardcore yaoi.
Yeah, I understand that.
I will defend your hardcore yaoi, but I will not defend any yaoi or BL that has a fucking underage kid in it.
Well, I
Like
think
the
we can
currently
do one
airing
thing.
thing of this season then, which I'm really glad I don't have to review.
I
Yeah,
saw one episode of Super Lovers and I want to die.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, I think we all agree that at least Black Butler
People
keeps
are
it subtle.
defending super lovers. I want
How?
to make that clear. People are defending that shit.
Crazy ass Fujoshi. That's how.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
crazy ass
wrong.
for Joe.
That
I have
is-
actually seen a defense for that show saying, if you don't like this, you don't like non-masculine traditional male characters. I'm like, no, I
No.
don't like child fucking.
To be honest, I'm surprised it doesn't have the same sort of moral outrage that the last 2 episodes of Bunny Drop did, because that went down like a lead balloon.
That was in the manga only. The show is perfect.
Is that only the manga? I thought the series ended with it as
No.
well.
No, the anime cut off before then, thank God.
Yeah, no, but oh man, don't even talk about Bunny. There's another series called I was reading a bit of it like a few weeks back. I think it's Ashi Tuzurin Baby. It's like a high school kid has to take care of his like little niece.
Yeah.
And it's basically Bunny Drop if they never went into that.
Oh,
and
thank
makes
God.
and that makes it infinitely better.
But yeah, I own volume 1 to 7. I picked them up really cheap, and a friend basically sold them to me. So yeah.
I'm calling the internet police. Consequences will never be the same.
I got it for Yoshi God. You can't take me in.
Also, don't look up the origins of that meme. You'll really hate humanity if you do.
I already hate humanity.
You're gonna hate it more after that meme, trust me.
So
Oh.
okay, I think I think since we have 2 series to talk about, and I feel like the majority group feels the most lukewarm about it, let's start with Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
I will defend the shit out of this.
I liked this.
I understand completely why you'll defend the shit out of it. It's also, here's the thing. I read through it and I'm like, okay, so it's the 2 characters. Fuck, I can't remember the
Ryoko?
names.
Satsuki and Ryoko.
Yeah.
I'm the outlier there. So Ryoko and Sakutsu, they're basically Bonnie and Clyde. They're in love. They're robbing banks, and it's all to basically scorn Satsuki's mother, who owns all these banks.
Have you
And
ever seen Kill la Kill?
I have seen Kill la Kill. I saw the whole thing.
Okay,
I just saw it like 4 years
understand.
ago.
You understand how crazy that woman is.
Yes.
Yeah, it never comes up in this series, but it implies a lot of shit.
And it also should be pointed out that, at least in this version, Ryoko and Satsuki are not sisters.
So don't worry, bullet dodged everyone.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that was
this-
my big
I
concern.
think this was I think this was actually started while the series was airing before that revelation came out and caused the entire fandom around the show to collapse in on itself like a fucking solar
A black
shell,
hole.
star dying. An implosion. That's it. Yeah. So this comic just never ever brings it up. Probably for the best.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's implied that they just didn't know each other before they teamed up, so I can assume that they didn't grow up together. I guess that's how you put it, but whatever. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm kind of... I find it hard to find anything to talk about with this one, because...
Ooh.
Put your hand down, Johnathan. Let
I'm
me
one
just
of the
say
few
this a little
people
bit.
here who I'm one of the few people here who still generally enjoys Kill la Kill and its character, so I have a lot to talk about.
Hey, I like it too.
I also have a lot
just
to
don't
talk
talk
about.
it a lot.
Oh, thank God, I'm not alone.
Woo!
Seriously, I love the fuck out of Imaishi, which is part of the reason I'm here.
So here's why I find it. I don't have much to talk about. Reading through it, it was a very it was the basic Bonnie and Clyde story, just with the Kill la Kill characters. And I haven't seen Kill la Kill in 4 years, so I remember almost jack and shit about the show. I couldn't even remember the main characters' names. Honestly, the only thing that sticks out in my head about that show is, I think her name was Maki, and just her
Mako.
insanity. Mako, there you go. You see? Like, I can't even remember the most memorable character's name.
Mako
Like,
Mako actually is mentioned in this, but only by her last name, where it's mentioned she's the fucking police chief.
Oh dear.
Oh wow.
I want to see that series.
But yeah, I feel like it's hard. Well, first of all, this feels way more fanficky than the other one we're talking about, in the sense that it's basically slap characters from whatever show, canon, whatever you like, into a completely different premise.
Oh yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is a long and storied fanfic tradition.
It is pretty
this
much... Sorry, Doc, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, this is basically just a character piece. It's not interested in the world at all. It just gives this setting because it sounds like a cool idea. But it does lead to a few good jokes, like Ryoko taking Satsuki to a fucking Cubs game and she's just losing her shit the entire time.
Or making a reference to The Wizard of Oz and like, shh, that movie isn't out yet.
When did that
actually
movie
laughed at
come
that.
out?
1939.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It wasn't out yet. Yeah, it's basically just a series of vignettes with these characters just bouncing off each other's, and pretty much every scene with Non is gold to me.
Yes.
I also feel like it's hard to talk about because the artwork is not bad. I do want to stress that. Like, all the characters look basically... Well, there's some
I
variation.
think it had a good style for what time period it was trying to emulate.
Yeah, but it's also kind of half-finished. It gets
Yeah,
more
it's
polished as it
definitely-
goes on, but it's definitely kind of... It feels almost like an animatic more than like a comic.
Yeah, this is more inspired. Like, actually, I would. Oh god, I'm gonna have to go back to Homestuck to explain this.
No.
Go for it. Go for it.
See, Homestuck sort of had an influence on webcomics where it made it more okay not to follow traditional ideas of what it means to be a comic. So a lot of, you're seeing more webcomics these days do single image pages instead of multiple panels on one page because they don't have the same limitations as paper comics. Like with Ava's Demon, which is fantastic and you should look that up. And it's definitely done here, as the person drawing it is just basically making rough sketches and what sounds like neat ideas. And just strings it out into a narrative that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty fine with that, and I kind of like that the art's so sketchy because it kind of matches the how old and dated it matches the time period, if that makes sense. Like, it's just it looks so old and worn out, but still kind of very lively, if that makes any sense. I'm kind of rambling here.
It's basically almost like somebody has sort of found a lot of old sketches, that somebody has done from the time period and basically written a story around them.
That is exactly what I was going for, thank you.
I will say I wish I worked a little more on the transitions, but sometimes she makes them work. They're almost like smash cuts. Like, the one that really sticks in my mind is, I guess, what you could refer to as the Mardi Gras incident. Basically going from them taking shots to smash cut to, like, her, Satsuki, and Non in bed together. With only flashes of, like, what did we do? Cute up pictures of them and various states of lesbian three-way. Oh.
And Ryoko just dunks her head in the fucking toilet, and oh crap, I keep forgetting his name because he's the least interesting member of Satsuki's Big Four, that sword guy.
Yeah.
He's just
Eyeside shut guy.
Yeah, he's just hanging out in the tub, and he's like, I don't know how I got here either.
With no pants.
I just remember after the 7th challenge, and you demanded a strap-on, and no provided.
I lost my shit at that line.
That was admittedly a good scene.
Yeah, I also like some of the changes they made to some of the characters, like
Yui.
Satsuki.
Oh, I love what they did with Yui.
Oh yeah, she has like a fucking metal arm, and she's just like a straight up
bulletproof umbrella.
Yes.
That is genius.
And of course, she's a fucking Green Beret or something. It's like
she was a
military
World War I
vet.
pilot. They called her the witch.
I was like, that's just so perfect. And it's like, we can't do super silly for this character in this time period, so let's just do a different archetype and make that work. And I think it did well. I also like how Satsuki has a stutter that comes out sometimes when she's really agitated. I thought that was cute.
Yes.
I mean, in general, I found it was, well, from the sort of the artist position, it was nice. I mean, a lot of the stuff does feel half finished or sort of conceptual, as though they've sort of gone, well, I could do a whole comic really, really detailed. or I could basically do it in sort of the style I've done it. So it's, you get a semblance of character, you get a semblance of thing. Some of the finished sketches actually probably look better than what a finished work with, because you get a very sort of sketchiness, almost like you, as I said, you're going through a bunch of old sketches and working a story around them. It's interesting. I would compare it to a work I've read, which is called 365 Samurai and a Few Bowls of Rice, which is basically a fairly large graphic novel, which basically has an image per page, and so you almost get, as with this work, a sort of a story evolving over several, or even a sequence evolving over several pages, somewhat in the webcomic tradition. The other thing I particularly liked about the Kill la Kill one is that it did, although, okay, it concentrates on a few characters, doesn't really do the backgrounds, and is a sort of series of vignettes. The writing of the vignettes, I mean, obviously part of this has to go to the person who translated this, because this, I believe it's in translation?
I'm not sure, honestly. I saw some English on the artist's page, but her title was not in English, so it's hard to say.
But it's a good series of character pieces. As a piece of erotica, it's not half bad.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't care about any of the erotic
Oh, no,
elements.
yeah.
I just cared about all the character
Yeah.
bits.
But I mean, the character interplay, and particularly how they adapted the main characters of Kill la Kill to the time period, I thought was very good. Basically, it's a very well written fanfic webcomic.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them take this idea and just go with it further and try to develop a few things. Like, you could tell this was a very moment in the moment sort of thing, because they didn't really explain how the robbing banks that Satsuki's mother owns is going to hurt her. They were just trying to sort of copy the same plot line from the original series, where she's trying to hurt her mother through her own
Enterprises?
technology. No, through her own technology, the life fibers.
Right.
But since life fibers don't exist in this universe, and like the only thing we see of their battle suits is just the silly mask they wear during one of the bank robberies, they had to come up with something. So they just thought, I guess they robbed banks because of brands or something. They even sort of highlight it. Like Ryoko's like, oh, like fashion. And it's like a little too tongue in cheek at that point.
Masks was a really good touch, though.
Yeah, there's just a lot of little good touches, particularly in regards to either like characterization on an individual scale, or just like the way they interact, like how they capture Ryoko and Satsuki's rivalry, or what am I trying to think? Or Ragyo and her general creepiness, or Yui for that matter. Just lots of little character stuff. Although I do wish whoever did this clearly has more fondness for Satsuki than Ryuko, because we learn a lot more, although most of it is inferred, about Satsuki's background versus Ryoko's.
I actually don't mind that, because you can pretty much tell everything you need to know from Ryoko by just how loud and obnoxious she is.
Yeah. To be honest, that does echo Kill la Kill to a certain extent. It's sort of, you get a lot. I mean, in terms of Kill la Kill, towards the sort of, you get a lot more of Satsuki's background. You get a lot more of the sense of what Satsuki was like as a kid. Whereas Ryoko is like, well, your father did this, and then he went away, and then this happened, and then you were a delinquent, and then look, you're here now, and your father's dead.
Maybe it felt more balanced because Ryuko was the main character, so we spent more time with her, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I think plus you can't really work in Ryoko's backstory from the show in any way here, because that means you have to deal with the whole
incest.
Oh yeah, they're related.
Yeah, that could get problematic.
Yeah.
I just think this is like a really good piece of fan fiction, like a good example of just exploring the characters and having fun with it, and like making the audience feel that fun and understanding what the artist sees in these characters and why they like them so much.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a good phrase that would lead us into our next series.
Yeah, Double K is amazing.
Double K.
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
What?
I haven't seen Gurren Lagann.
How?
Get out.
So I went into this comic knowing none of these characters, And even so, like, I really almost don't even think this needed to be, like, a fan comic. This could have literally been just, like, replace all the characters with original characters. Still would have been just as great.
Oh yeah, the first time I read this, I was really impressed by how much it stands on its own as its own thing. But if you know what Gurren Lagann is, there you can read in so much more from what's going on. And it's really clever how it uses what happens in that series and sort of twists it on its head here.
Yes, but before we go much further, we should. I want to at least take this opportunity to kind of give context for people not familiar with Double K. So, Double K is a Gurren Lagann fan comic done by a guy named Nathan Maurer, who usually went by his DeviantArt handle, Captain Osaka. He was the winner, first place, for the 2004 Rising Star of Mangas competition for Tokyo Pop with a work called, I've got this open on my computer, okay, Atomic King Daidogen, which is basically a tribute to all the crazy 70s super robot shonen stuff.
So how bad did Tokyo Pop screw him over?
A lot.
It's Tokyo Pop.
They published the first volume of that in 2006, but the print run was so small that it disappeared almost immediately, and they never published any further volumes. It is available now through Comixology, but of course that means the rights reverted entirely to Stu Levy, and that's a rant for another day. But after that, he started work on this fan comic on Double K, and God, I cannot think of a better combination for this guy's art style than Gurren Lagann, because Imaishi's style, it's one of those that it can go really badly when people try to imitate it. It can go really off model, but this guy strikes the right balance between homage and his own style.
Yeah, it's not full-on Gurren Lagann style, but it has its own little touches to it that really help, like all the bug-eyed expressions and the weird things they do with the lips. It's all really great.
God, is there anything better than the two panels he uses where of Kamina's superpower, which is basically to tease people just going, pussy!
Oh God, the
script lose their minds.
The script in this is so great, like when they capture that gorilla bad guy and start making monkey puns.
Yes! And they look at each other like, oh my God!
Monkey fans.
But yes, so Double K is basically reimagining Gurren Lagann as an 80s buddy cop movie. Double K referring to Kamina, one of the main characters from the show, and Kitan, who was one of the more major supporting characters.
Yeah, what happens is at the beginning we don't actually see them together yet. Instead, it's Kamina and Simone, as you expect, and they're on a ridiculous sting to basically find a pimp. And yes, it is the old man from the village in the first episode, because of course.
And a lot of Gynax cameos, because all the hookers are like Asuka and Ray and the girl from like Die Buster.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameos in the series. Like, there's Gendo Akari's buying a hooker at one point.
And and the captain from Nadia is also caught in a sting as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I keep wanting to call him Global, but that's who he's referencing.
Basically, we get everything we need to know from this first segment, where Kamina is being as reckless and insane as possible, and even has like a little Gurren Lagann car that ends up totaling.
The Gurren Rod!
And Simone is still very timid at this point, but with his interactions with the old man, we discover that the crutch of the series is based around Spiral. In the original series, it was basically just human willpower, raw, all that, and the key to solving everything. But here, it's a drug that superpowers people like cocaine does in a bad Hollywood movie, and makes them like super powerful rage monsters. So the entire crutch of the story is based around finding out where this supply Spiral is coming from.
Yes, and initially it's Kamina and Simone investigating this, but to try and control Kamina and his lunk-headed insanity, Chief Genome brings in...
Yes, he's the chief.
brings in a new partner, Kitan. He's told he's this upstanding, fly right, do good kid No, he's also the fuck up from the other station, and you basically put two of these lunkheads together.
I kind of like how they have these relatives with
Oh,
the person in charge. I keep forgetting his name because he's like one of the
Dayaka.
least
I had to look it up myself.
Yeah, he was like, he's just really happy to be rid of him, and it's never told in words. You just see he's looking at all the pictures. A series of
family photographs. In every single one, Keaton is photobombed them all, including his wedding.
Yeah, that's just such a great gag.
Yes.
I think my favorite, and there's a lot of great stuff in here, and I'm really annoyed it ends before we get to see more of Yoko. She just appears for a moment helping out and never comes up again. But at least we got a lot of Viral.
Yes, Viral is like a secret agent.
Oh no, he's
or
just
FBI?
like
The barkeep.
He's like a renegade, a vigilante, from what I can see.
It's hard to say because, as Dark mentioned, this series is sadly unfinished. Captain Osaka basically disappeared from the internet around 2013, and no one's seen him since. And the thing is, he wasn't unsuccessful. He put together a Kickstarter to basically put together part of this into like an actual printed volume. He sold it at Anime Expo. He had a little shop with merchandise and everything.
Ted Cruz strikes again.
And
Not
no
Ted.
one knows what happens. And it is so sad. Because
It really is a shame because this is a spectacular just buddy comedy. Like you guys keep name dropping a bunch of characters. I literally only know them because of this comic. I've never seen Gurren Lagann, and yet just everything really fits together well here. If you're a fan of just these old 80s, if you like movies like Police Academy and stuff, you're gonna love this regardless of if you've seen Gurren Lagann or not.
Oh, can we talk about who ended up being the main villain and how awesome a choice that was?
yes,
Go.
the main villain, at least as far as we saw, is Rossiu. Adult Rossiu, aka Foxy
Yeah,
Rossiu.
that little shit who ended up betraying everyone and being a coward in the original series before Simone punched him in the fucking face to get all the stupid out of him.
And again, I have no idea who that is or what you're talking about, but
Honestly, there's no further context. Simone punches him in the fucking face so he stops being stupid, and then he's not stupid anymore. That's the entire context.
In series,
so he literally got the.
In series, he's kind of the good cop to Kamina's bad cop. Like, Kamina is just all stupid recklessness, where Rossiu is the one who's all level-headed. So, it's definitely a smart choice.
Yeah, like seeing him being such an evil, conniving villain is just like, you just know he saw the second half and was like, wow, that guy's an asshole. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, I really wish we could have seen more of that. And it's kind of interesting to see Genome, who's built up as this big bad guy in the original series, being just like a fallen good guy in a different way. I thought that was clever.
And being just a wonderful, affectionate father to Nia. He's just all rays and sunshine when she's around.
It's kind of a shame we never got to see that in the original series.
Yeah.
Because I think it was hinted that he really did care for her.
But yeah, God, if I had my will, if I ran a comics company and had more money than I had sense, I would hunt this man down. I would give him all the money he could ever demand. It's like, create something new. I don't care what.
Make a new Devil Man.
Just do it in this style, and you will make all the monies.
Again, from the art perspective, the art for this is just beautiful. I mean, there are double-page spreads in this which are like as good as professional, proper, really.
From page one, it's just a beautiful, just like over-the-top, wonderful artwork.
Yeah. And it not only catches that over-the-top nature that Gurren Lagann has, and actually a lot of Gygax stuff in their sort of their lighter tone has, but it's also it captures that sort of incredibly overblown machismo craziness that a lot of the best, cheesiest, stupidest American action movies of that sort of buddy cop sort of type have. I mean, the brilliant, it is a perfect synthesis of sort of the two concepts. It is a real shame there is not more of this and that this was never published, because it is it's not. It is probably one of the best fan works just out there. Full stop.
If there's any justice in this world, this man is going to get more work and he's going to be paid well because he is talented.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah.
The art in this kind of remind me like Gurren Lagann mashed up with Scott Pilgrim.
That
Yeah.
was what I was.
Like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot of. Sorry, Megan. You.
No, I was going to disagree.
got-
So go ahead.
I want to see this guy come back and make like a comic with Devilman fighting like the entire catalog of Gainax and Trigger heroes and villains. That would be so fucking amazing.
Oh god, that'd be amazing. Like something in the same vein as Adam Warren's old like Dirty Pair comics, but just more insane. Yes, someone needs to make that happen. Some crazy
Get this man. Get this man. Get this man on the phone.
I wonder why he burned out.
It's hard to say. Few people on his DeviantArt page went searching, suggesting that he might have become a piano player professionally. But it's really hard to say. Like I said, he just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, wherever he is, I hope hope everything's working out for him because he really entertained me with this series. I'd love to see more, but what I have, I'm happy with.
Yeah.
I know, it's just a little over 150 pages of sheer, undiluted awesome.
Yeah, I think these two series complement each other well because not only are they two brother and sister series and with similar themes, like Kill la Kill is basically just Gurren Lagann, except it's about issues women deal with in the modern age and not just issues men deal with in the modern age, as in Gurren Lagann deals with. But they're also interesting because they have two very different creators and artists that each match each series differently. Like Double K, it matches Gurren Lagann's bravado and manly guy stuff and just general stupidity. But the Kill la Kill comic is definitely more focused on the emotions of the characters beyond just conflicts and more like the relationships, and it's like an interesting contrast, and I really like these two very much, almost exact same amount, just for how different and well done they are for what they want to be.
I'd agree with that. I mean, they in terms of viewing them as fan works, the Kill la Kill one is sort of very character driven. It's very much sort of a sense of someone has sat down, someone has gone, I'm going to put these characters in this situation, I'm going to concentrate on how the characters work. There's not really, in the Kill la Kill one, there's not really much background, there's not really sort of the feel of the 1930s. Whereas Double K, he's literally gone, how can I make Top Step and Gurren Lagann make sense in a sort of 1980s body cop franchise? How can I get the feel of a 1980s body cop franchise across with these characters? In the Kill la Kill one, the plot serves the characters. In the Top and Gurren Lagann, the characters serve the plot.
Yeah.
I actually had an idea for a series where that would involve pretty much all the Gainax and Trigger characters meeting in a sort of city built in a sort of like dimensional center, but the thing is they all come from different alternate communities. So like in one case you have like characters from a similar Double K place that also had the FLCL characters there, like
Oh my god.
that like Haruko is just like a crazy lady with a guitar and no special powers, and add like the 1930s Kill la Kill continuity mixed in, and then just go crazy from there, like having Inferno Cop or the Luluco characters from the recent season. Like maybe work in adaptations like Ninja Slayer, just kind of go crazy with it, like make a big old action series filled with like pretty like magic giant robots and like all these characters in alternate continuities who don't have the ridiculous powers they had before, but still have what makes them who they are and how they overcome all that despite it. I just think it'd be really fun just to have all the Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann characters bouncing off each other, especially Ryoko and Kamina.
Oh god.
So something like basically a Gainax Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles.
Yeah,
But not
except
shitty.
much.
But not shit.
I would just imagine how you would try to fit the Evangelion characters in there. Oh god, that would be such a beautiful mess.
Oh god.
And on that, we have officially passed an hour, so I'd say let's give our scores, let's give our final thoughts, and let's wrap this up. So, I don't know, someone start us off.
Okay, let's rate each series separately, obviously.
Of course.
Right.
For the Kill la Kill comic, I'm going 7 out of 10 because I really enjoyed it as a character piece, but it does feel like if the person making it spent more time on it, it could genuinely be something special, like Double K, which I'm giving a 9 out of 10 because fucking look at that thing, it's gorgeous.
Yep.
It has great character work, but it also has a great, interesting mystery plot to it, and it works just fine on its own without context of the original series it's based off of.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Megan?
I'd have to give Lesbian, Bonnie, and Clyde a 6 out of 10. I will agree with Jonathan. It's a nice character piece, and it finds some interesting twist on a very crazy universe. But the unpolished artwork hurt it a little more, at least personally. Double K, God, my inclination is to say a 10 out of 10. I'd almost want to say like a 9.5. Like, I would only dock it for the fact that it is unfinished. Everything else is just wonderful and glorious and happy and funny, and even his little comments on his DeviantArt page for every single page is just wonderful. Come back, Captain Osaka.
Thank you. Tama?
I am going to give Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde, Kill la Kill, 6.5. As Megan said, it's a good work. As Megan and Jonathan have said, it's a good work. It's a little bit unpolished. It does very much feel like sort of a sketchbook exercise, sort of gone slightly mad. It's a good character piece. I wouldn't say if you're a Kill la Kill fan you have to sort of read it, but it's a nice piece of fan work. Double K, I would say basically if you're a Teppentop and Gurren Lagann fan, you have to read this thing. This thing is probably the greatest fan work I've seen attached to any Gainax work, let alone any anime work. The art is amazing, the character development is amazing. The only thing is that it's unfinished. I'm also going to give it a 9.5.
And you, Walt?
I'm gonna give Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde a 5 out of 10. I enjoyed the more the oldish style art style. I thought that was nice. Character piece, I don't know. I just didn't wow me. I think as much as it did you guys. I was reading through it. I thought there were a lot of good funny moments and a lot of interesting character moments. Like, oh hey, so this is how they're putting that character in this timeline. But overall, it just didn't wow me. So, a 5 out of 10 for me. And, yeah, 9 out of 10 for Double K. I know nothing about Gurren Lagann, but this, the artwork impressed me. The writing was humorous and fantastic. And I fell in love with this. I would love to keep reading this, even if I go my entire life never watching Gurren Lagann.
You really should watch that, by the way.
Yes.
Yep.
Probably. Alright, someone stall for time while I count all this up.
So, do you think Ted Cruz killed the Double K guy? We need to stop him. The Zodiac must end. How far have I beaten this joke in the ground at this point?
No more than the rest of the
All right.
internet has.
So the group score for Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde is a 6 out of 10. The group score for Double K is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that sounds about
Rounding,
right.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, read Double K is what I can say, and I'm sure the other 3 people here will tell you to read Lesbian, Bonnie and Clyde as well.
If you're
I
a
can't say
if
the
you're a
same
Kill
thing.
la Kill fan, a big Kill la Kill fan, absolutely. Otherwise, there's not really a reason for you to check it out.
Oh, and make sure to have
Yeah.
your ad blockers on high, because it is on a porn site.
Yes, it is.
That was only collected there. I couldn't really find another place where it was collected as quite as well as it was in that gallery. So.
And hopefully we'll be sure to link both of these works in the comments when this is posted.
Are we seriously gonna... Oh, well, I guess, yeah, for the webcomic. I'm not sure I'm comfortable linking people to a porn site on YouTube.
There's safer work stuff on there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's be honest. It's cool. Let's be honest. If people are going to insist on going looking for lesbian erotica in their lunch break, that is their lookout.
Precisely.
I guess so. All right. Thank you guys.
Actually, you could just link to the artist's Tumblr. It's linked in the first comment in that gallery.
Oh, good.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. We can definitely do that.
And
All right,
with that,
guys.
we need to go find the. Okay, I'm not gonna make another Zodiac Killer joke. This is getting old.
Thank you, guys. I need to plan out what we're reading next time, so I don't know yet. It's gonna be a surprise, everyone. No one knows what we're reading yet next time. Ah! Panic,
Will it be
pandemonium.
related to Donald Trump's tiny hands?
No.
Let me see if I've got something.
So
that I
should
can
Joe
say yes to
Romantica
that
then?
for.
I need to find more fan comics, but it's really hard to find good ones. Like these two are literally the only ones I know at this point.
Tumblr Dark, Tumblr.
Oh, well, wait, I just remembered one really weird Bleach thing I found that was basically an excuse for the artist to constantly draw Rukia and Orihime in bunny outfits.
Cool.
And that's all the time we've got, folks. Thank you all very much.
Good night. Watch out for Donald Trump's tiny hands. Politics.